Good morning, afternoon, and evening. A time zone friendly welcome to the ESL Guild Wars 2 Pro League. My name is Munchables, and joining me once again is Jebro to guide us through the action. How are you doing, man?
I'm really good. So we've got a fun-packed week ahead of us. It's really top of the table versus bottom of the table as well. So it should be quite a good week to lead us on to the final week of Pro League next week.
Absolutely, and as you say, lead us on to the final. This is the 6th week of the Pro League now. We are so close to the end. Let's take a look at our season schedule and see quite where we are in our journey so far. We've had 5 weeks before us, and we're now getting to the point where we're going to start to seed these teams and see where they will play. So we'll be able to bring up the schedule on your screens for you guys, and we'll show you how we're going to be doing with when the final is. But this is the schedule for what's going to be happening tonight anyway. First game of the night is going to be TCG up against Purple Noise. Following that, we'll have Orange Logo versus Car Crash, Chaotic Contingency versus Vermilion, and More Guns Than Roses versus Rank 55 Dragons. Now, some of these series are of pretty significant importance in the grand scheme of things in terms of seeding.
Yeah, I mean, we've got this kind of battle between Orange Logo, Car Crash, and More Guns at the moment, all with 6 points, like mid-table. Yep. So they want to make sure they're winning those games, obviously, in those series, so we can actually see them get some nice placing, and they can get some nice, cash prizing, which we're going to talk about in a moment as well. Really, the top two kind of solidified in that positioning. There has to be something extremely...
Yeah, I mean...
There is a tiny...
There's a sliver of hope for TCG. TCG can't drop a map.
That's true.
But they're kind of relying on things that are out of their control at this point. They need other people to do badly, but we'll talk about that later. Let's take a look at the dates of the final. Let's take a look at when the final is going to be happening, because that's the thing that's on everyone's lips. That's what everyone's playing for. Let's take a look at the schedule. Monday, January the 25th will be the 7th week. That's obviously next Monday. And then the 20th of February will be our live studio finals. And that is going to be in the UK. So cannot wait to get that kicked off. Cannot wait. And we're going to have the US cast is going to be flying over as well. So the whole family's going to be here.
It's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. We've not really had that before, where we've had, all the casters on board and all the other stuff that's kind of being planned for it as well. It's going to be a massive event. It's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to this.
Absolutely. So let's take a look at our total prize pool for the Guild Wars 2 Pro League. Talk us through this one, Jebro.
Yeah, look, as you can see, for each region, you've got 10k is the first. So even first, second, like next week, we're going to have to decide really between that. But you can see, as I mentioned before, 4th, 5th, 6th, there's still, significant money. There's $2,000 difference between 4th and 5th position. And then you've got 6th as well. So that jump up in prize money for that 4th position is pretty massive, So they really, even bottom placing as well. I know Purple Noise and Chaotic are going to have difficulties in the next couple of weeks. But even just that one position could be the difference between 500 or 2k.
And that's the one that everyone's fighting for as well. 3 teams all battling for that $2,000 jump. That's a huge amount of money to be playing for. So it really is. A lot of pressure on these players' shoulders tonight. But let's take a look at our rule set for this tournament. Something we've neglected to show at the start of other streams. So let's take a quick look. Obviously, it is Conquest 5-on-5. 3 points around the map that you have to capture to get points. And our map pool is Forest of Niflhel, Legacy of the Foefire, Battle of Kylo, and Temple of the Silent Storm. The map pool for tonight, however, will be Temple, followed by Forest, followed by Foefire. So that's going to be kind of the setup for these games. Obviously, every team is going to be playing on the same set of maps throughout the best of 3, so it will be consistent for everyone. But let's just quickly take a look at our social media as well. Obviously, you guys can follow us on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, and all of the VODs for the Pro League are up on YouTube at youtube.com/Guild Wars 2. But as well, we're going to be doing a poll tonight on Twitter. I'm going to be tweeting this one out once the first game starts, so you guys can vote on who you think is going to be able to take our first best of 3, whether it's going to be Vermilion or whether it's going to be Purple Noise. That'll be on my Twitter at ESL Munchables, and it'll also be retweeted by Jebro at JebDan. So you can find us both and let us know how you think, and we'll update you guys during the series on who thinks who is going to win, who's the crowd favorite, and maybe we'll see some underdogs that have got a whole lot of backing behind them.
Yeah, I remember we've had different. Obviously, we've had some upsets in the past. That could still happen. We've still got 2 weeks left, so anything can happen in the last 24 hours or more than that. Anyway, we've got TCG versus Purple Noise right now as well. So maybe we can go into the game and check out what people are running Build Wars.
I think just before we jump into the game, let's take a quick look at our league table. Let's take a look at where these guys are standing. We've mentioned how there's a few people tied in that 4th place position. Orange logo, Car Crash, and More Guns Than Roses. These are the ones that we're going to be watching. Those are the teams with a whole lot of pressure on their shoulders. But TCG as well, they're kind of... they've got 3 teams snapping at their heels. They cannot afford a loss right now. No,
exactly. I mean, this series we're going to have right now is really... You'd give it to TCG. Obviously, after playing... after the last couple of weeks and a couple of upsets for them as well, they're feeling like really need to solidify themselves in third position, get the maximum amount of cash they can now out of this tournament. Like you said, there is still a tiny miniature sliver of hope, of impossibility almost, for them to get further, but,
It could happen.
I'm not going to say anything else.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer in the crazy out of this world clutch things. But anyway, enough about the potential star alignment and 1% chance things. Let's head into our first game of the day. It is going to be TCG up against Purple Noise. I nearly said TCG versus Vermilion, but that was last week. And let's take a look. We'll start off with TCG. Let's have a look at the builds that we're going to be bringing to the table here.
Draze is, modelling his character maybe headwise after myself, but hey, he's going to be playing engineers. Static normal build we see coming out from him. Scrapper, of course, with inventions and alchemy. We see this build in every single week of Pro League, very tanky and sustainable with the Marauder's Amulet, which is more obviously damage focused than anything else, So it is very, very survivable. Obviously, changes coming up in the next week or so will mean that maybe that build will change in the meta in the future.
Absolutely. We've got up Health Seth next. Obviously, going to be playing that Bunker Mesmer that we have been seeing him play. And I mean, I believe you spoke to Health Seth earlier this week, and I was watching the interview that you guys had with him. Still feeling pretty confident in their play, to be honest. I think they're aware of the things that went wrong, but I don't think they blame themselves too much.
No, I mean, one of the main things that they feel like they needed to run last time was actually, the portal, and which is why I just kind of hovered over. They had double blink, and Vermilion ran a blink and a portal, and I believe double portal for the first game, as far as I can remember. So that's where, mobility-wise, Vermilion were able to travel around the map a lot quicker. He put people into positions where the Mesmers could just move out of the cap point and get themselves into 2v2s or team fights. And, this is one of the main things. Obviously, on Temple as well, you've got a lot more positions to think and worry about, like stillness and tranquility. So obviously, portals are going to be even more useful.
Yeah, absolutely. And the portals are just so important. We saw last week, I think there was 3 or 4 kind of portal plays that ended in a decap and kind of threw the game on the head. But Freylina going to be going with that Condi Rev by the looks of things, Viper's Amulet. So pretty standard stuff coming out from there.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff indeed. Lots of high pressure damage coming out from him in terms of conditions.
I said her again. I did that last week.
It's because of the Freylina. It's just the name. That's why you're doing it. It's okay. Everyone, durability, rip durability. Bye-bye. This is gone. This is no longer because you can notice this. We hardly ever mention the runes because most people are running the rune of durability. Now, there's many reasons for this. Obviously, you can see the boons coming out, toughness and boon duration, and it gives them a lot more survivability. And obviously, that resistance is very strong as well. So, that's getting taken out in the next, in this first quarter of balance changes, which is going to be great as well. Some changes to things like energy sigil and whatnot. And then your favorite, Joe.
Yes, we've got a Berserker. Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm actually pretty much too afraid to run this build anymore. I pretty much exclusively play Condi Rev now, but I love that we do still see the Zerka Rev come out.
Yeah, lots of power damage coming out from Karzes, and fairly tanky as well for the amulet that he's able to run. He's very mobile on it as well, and he gets some great damage off, as well as some nice finishing kills that we used to be able to see kind of from really thieves and whatnot as well. So Karzes is one of the revs to watch, I suppose, as we go finally over to Lord of Sur. He's going to be playing Soldiers support Bunker Mesmer. Obviously, we all know what's very strong about this build, of course, the quickness that comes out, stability as well on shattering. and that's very, very powerful for the resing survivability of teams. And obviously, you know, Asura playing playing Elementalist before, obviously switching to Mesmer now as well.
So let's take a look at the other side. We'll kick off with Cole Summers, going to be running with that Druid. So pretty standard stuff, really, coming out from Cole Summers. Again, with the rune of Celestial Rune, sorry. I can't even get my words out right now.
Yeah, that's going as well, Joe. We ain't got no more Selly. Selly is gone after a long time now as well. Yeah. So next balance patch.
I'm really curious about what we see after the patch. When we get to the finals, what people are going to be playing, because it's really going to throw the meta on its head, I feel.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got pre-season, obviously, in between this and the next Pro League, so it is going to be, and obviously in-game leagues as well, so it's going to be very interesting to see what people do come up with. It's going to be, you know, more of a power kind of bursty orientated meta. We're not going to see as many tanky builds because a lot of those more tanky amulets are kind of being removed, but obviously there will be those, you know, builds with supportive builds as well that we might see coming out, but we're going to see a lot more bodies on the floor, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Then we've got Honey coming out. She's going to be running Staff Elementalist, of course. We're going to see Diamond Skin. We're going to see the adjustment of that as well in the balance changes, as well as going for Staff as well. She's very good at getting decaps. We've seen her and Karam actually on Chaotic Contingency doing fantastic job in those positions, as well as supporting their team, of course.
I think Honey as well has been a stand-up player for me in just ability to survive, just kite around forever.
Yes.
Multiple games we've been watching Honey, and she's just been dancing around a point, just pretty much untouchable. Anyway, let's take a look at Badaka, going to be running the Mesmer as well.
Yep, that bunker support Mesmer that we do see coming out, all the res utility and whatnot that we were talking about with Lord Sora earlier. It's going to be going for soldiers as well. Obviously, you know, the extra power damage there means a lot of pressure can come out onto players, because obviously, you know, don't need a lot of crit for if they've got 1200 power, they're actually able to do, you know, a nice amount of sustained damage, as well as tanking and being survivable to help res up other team members. And then finally, Demon Lord. He's going to be playing on a Revenant, of course. He's going to be going Condi with durability as well, and of course going for Corruption, Retribution and Herald. And that is going to be that. He's not going for stability though, he's not going for enhanced bulwark there. So yeah, just waiting to see if the guys are going to ready up soon. Otherwise, you know, we at the moment, presently, really, we would give this to TCG anyway. Purple Noise not able to win a series, let alone also actually not able to win a game yet in the Pro League as well. And I feel a little bit bad saying that, but it's the truth. And, you know, they're looking to stay in really as well, and maybe try and bump their lead up into the table points-wise. But if they're going to do it, they've got to do it against the civilized gentleman.
Yeah. I mean, this is not exactly the easiest of teams to be up against, and as well, we've seen Purple Noise be a very, very sort of passive team, typically speaking. TCG love playing against that. They love to just exploit people and be the ones in control of the pace of the game. They want everyone else to follow their lead. Purple Noise's playstyle kind of plays into that one, but we'll have to see how it goes. Helseth already charging straight across the map. He's looking to deny the cap on the altar.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Honey. Honey's so low over on the midpoint. She does get taken out indeed. Looking to go to Badaka. Obviously does go into that Vapor Form to make sure she can go through the portal. Badaka should be able to come through and get the res. He does then go back through. That's good movement from them. But again, the pressure comes out. I'm surprised she went back onto the point so soon. She could have waited a couple of seconds, I feel, for that portal to come back up and to actually regenerate herself or just heal herself up a bit, because now Badaka is in a real situation where he has to go for the res again, and he's pressured. They don't get it, and they are going to probably lose this midpoint. I do believe we have actually seen the cap coming out for Red Team here.
Just about. It looks like it has been capped on the map, and yet the overlay has updated. So 2-1 cap advantage right now for TCG. They've managed to take themselves a lead, and they're looking to extend this one as Cole and Badaka both starting to feel the pressure a little bit. Cole going to go into that down state over towards the altar, immediately gets executed. We do see Kaz's there just finishing that one off, I believe. And there's a few people here for Purple Noise. They're going to try and protect this node, but I'm not sure it's going to be looking all too great for them right now. Yeah,
I mean, they're just going to defend, hold out. I mean, Kaz is, again, low HP on this side of the map. Should be able to go downhill. The Riz comes out, obviously, having the Mesmer over there on that side of the map, who is Lord Helseth, which means no matter how many times he goes down, he's more than likely going to get back up. And this fight is really, really important for for Purple Noise to come back into this game. They can bounce off this, maybe, you know, snowball some kills, get the mid cap as well. We've got nothing over on the midpoint at the moment. Drezu is actually in 1v1 versus Carver at present over on this node, and this is where blue team now starting to try and outnumber actually and do a good job here. Badaka coming out with the time warp as well to try and give them extra quickness, extra damage, and bringing out that slow onto their opponent.
Yeah, absolutely, and it looks like Drezu might just have to abandon ship on this one. He's not winning out this 2v1, and that is going to be the decap on mid. So Purple Noise actually doing a really good job to sort of stay at least even in this, or stay at least relatively even in this game. Kaza's going to use his elite skill there, try and knock them off the point. Not really too great effect. We do have Cole Summers going down though. Kaza's feeling the pressure. Are they going to be able to finish this one? If Purple Noise can take down Kaza's, they'll be in good stead, but I don't think they've quite got it. They get him into down state, but the res immediately there.
And Freylina as well. Extra res potential for the Revenant as well means that he's definitely not going to go down anytime soon. And really, Demon Lord and also Honey here, they're just going to hold the cap still as things go. And that's what Cole Summers now probably going to go for the decap over on Temple or equal up. Sorry, go over towards mid as well, because these two guys are actually not doing too badly over on this altar point. There's still, you know, points-wise, they're actually still quite close, so it's not too bad. This movement over to mid really helped them out, but they're not able to get the cap in their favor, unfortunately, and no decap. Only the decap comes out. Obviously, Cole Summers, like I said, going over towards the temple should hopefully be able to solidify that for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is going to be 1-1 once more, and we're going to see the gate is the point of contention right now. Relatively even fight. We are going to see Kaza joining that fight as well from the side of TCG, so they are going to be able to sort of slowly but surely push Purple Noise away from this point. And look at Honey right now, diving straight across the map towards the altar. They're looking to try and get the decap and start to rack some points up for themselves. If they can just keep that middle point neutral, get this decap, they're going to start to catch up to TCG.
Yeah, indeed, and they want to try and get the stillness. Obviously, Helsef has to go back over towards Altar there to try and make sure they keep that cap. Demon Lord gets the cap over onto the stillness, but we do, of course, see that TCG managed to get the side node. So now they do have the stillness buff, but it's not giving them anything, and Helsef knows that, which is why he went back as well. He knew that that was safe and that they're not able to get anything out of this buff. Unfortunately, Purple Noise have been killed in different places on the map, meaning, of course, the stillness will not be very effective, losing out on Temple, losing out on Altar, and now actually being free capped as well themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is kind of the unfortunate way these games seem to go for Purple Noise. They do a really good job in the start. They have a good opening. They managed to keep it at least relatively even. I believe it was last week in their first game, they even had a lead for a good portion of the first game, the first sort of 5 minutes, but then it all just seems to unravel. Demon Lord is going to go down as well. Cole Summers managing to top himself up pretty nicely there, but look at this. TCG are easily able to just maintain the cap on these points, and they're just matching wherever Purple Noise go right now. TCG have an answer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, over on this point at the moment as well, we actually can see Cole Summers going down. So she's going to say as well, talking about Helsef being over on the altar point isn't too bad, because they're keeping that extra mesmer out of one of the skirmishes on the side over on mid. Obviously, we're going to see that decap from Demon Lord over on the mid point as well. Have seen the downstate from Darker coming out. He will be finished off though, of course, because they haven't got people in place. He is also the mesmer on that team, and we are going to see Demon Lord picking up a cheeky little cap there. And this is what's going to happen really for Purple Noise throughout this game. You know, they're going to be able to get odd caps here and there, maybe a stillness which, you know, hasn't come into effect, and that's really what they're doing now. They're just trying to pick up as many points as they can. TCG, I mean, I'm pretty confident in saying that TCG are going to be able to win this game, but they need to just try and learn from this experience, learn from the rest of the Pro League as well, and try and build up for the possible second season, unless they do go out, of course.
I think as well, maybe try out some strategies. Maybe this is, like, when you've already solidified your lead like this, maybe this is an opportunity to really start to build on what you can work towards to play against the bigger, better teams. Because, I mean, Rank 55 and Vermilion both already beat TCG. So TCG kind of have some definite room for improvement there. These are the kind of games where they can try out different stuff and see if there's potential room to make those kind of big plays that can come out. Demon Lord has gone down, unfortunately, and I'm just going to take a quick look at the vote that we did on Twitter and see how the voting is going. It's not actually too one-sided. We do have 64% in favour of TCG, but 36% in favour of Purple Noise. So Purple Noise, while they've not had a fantastic show in this first map, they do definitely have some fan support.
Maybe it's a want for them to actually pick up the win as well. That could be something to do with it. The Ranger downstairs versus the Revenant will be able to win this 1v1 more than likely in the end, but the thing is, they're not going to be able to grant the Tranquility to flip all the buffs over onto their team. And now we've got this Stillness Cap fight as well coming out over towards the middle of the map with Honey versus Lord Asura. That's not going to end anytime soon, unless maybe Honey can get a bit of a cheeky knockback down into the sides there. They might be able to get some points back on the board, but unfortunately the free cap comes out. And more than likely this will be obviously a TCG game. Demon Lord can't get much over on that altar point either.
I'm going to be very, very impressed if this is a Purple Noise game at this stage. Because they will have, I'm pretty sure, broken some kind of records for the Pro League, because
we've had some very interesting in the past, like not in this meta, this kind of res meta that we're seeing now, but in the past we've seen some very clutch games of, like, I don't know, force around this point in time. Obviously 2 caps coming in as well. There's no way they're going to lose this, especially with Carver down up top as well. Where we've had very clutch comebacks. This was ages ago, like God, I don't even remember what tournament it was now. Spotty will probably remind me because he keeps going on about it all the time. But it's, you know, it is possible, but between these two teams, unlikely, and a very solid win for TCG. Textbook, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, props to Purple Noise. Again, they do seem to be having more solid openers than what we saw at the start of the Pro League. You can see that Purple Noise as a team have been improving across the 6 weeks that we've had so far, if we include this one. But, I mean, TCG, they were, coming into the Pro League, they were one of our favourites to go to the finals. It's looking unlikely that they go to the finals at this point, but they are still definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I think the first thing, the last thing that Helsa said last week on our show on Point, which was after Guild Chat, he was saying, you know, Pew Pew Season 2. You know, it was like he's already building up that. Yeah, it does. He's already building up that confidence that you're talking about the second season, and how, you know, they're going to just roll over it. So we'll have to wait and see, obviously, for that one. But yeah, like you said, force to be reckoned with. Textbook game for TCG, really. You know, nothing too hectic going on. Purple Noise. That's the thing as well for a team like Purple Noise. They really have to think about the fact that, you know, they're going up against a team like TCG. So not only are they trying to build their own presence up and their own sense of being as a team, I will say, they have to go up against TCG as well. So, you know, you've already got the nerves behind that and the confidence that comes out from those guys. And then you've got to play as you are as well.
I mean, it's an intimidating name within the Guild Wars scene to be going up against. TCG definitely have sort of made a mark for themselves in terms of the Guild Wars scene, but I believe all of the players are pretty much already ready to get this second game underway, so we're just going to head straight onto the map. The second map is going to be the Forest of Niflhel, so let's head onto the server and see how this second game is going to pan out. TCG up against Purple Noise, and let's take a quick look, see if anyone's changed up their builds. It doesn't look like anything too crazy has changed, though.
I don't know why. I just jumped onto Helsef and I thought, I wonder if he's going to play Shatter. You never know. But yeah, they're just opting to be safe. They want to go for that. They definitely want to. They want to stick in third position. They want the cash. Obviously, they want the prestige of being in third position as well. And they're going to be playing these games pretty seriously, obviously, as well. Being Pro League.
It is the Pro League.
It is Pro League, indeed. No matter how many points they got against these guys in the last game or in previous performances in whatever couple tournament, they always, especially in this one, no, they want to make sure they keep that third position. But it doesn't look like anyone's really changed anything up. Druid's still going for 3 glyphs there, as well as the Staff Elementalist. Elementalist not really feeling it at the moment in Pro League either. It feels like it's falling by the wayside a bit. Obviously, you know, most of them switching to that second Mesmer position is the obvious choice. Either that, you know, or even maybe sometimes the Engineer, because I don't know, even with the Engineer at the moment, even though it's a very strong survivable build and it's got a lot of res potential, sometimes, even at the moment, I feel like it's a little left out in places. Not having trouble in terms of, you know, going down or being focused or lack of survivability, but able to bring something out in the team which is really going to help in terms of, you know, decapping a point or just reminding myself about Rifle and how effective that was back in the day. And now, you know, it's still very, very effective for different reasons, but interesting to see how the Engineer is going to cope with the New Balance changes as well. That's my main class, that's why I was thinking about it, so I was kind of rolling with it in my head. See the buffs coming out on the map. Look at TCG, look at that. Look at the boonage.
I was looking at the VODs of last week as well, and every single map that TCG play, they get that 25 might and they get the full stack
Look
of
at the
buffs.
resistance!
It's
1
insane.
minute
It is
resistance.
insane. And I mean, it puts you in such good stead to start the game. If you're heading into those fights with just a massive stack of boons on your back, with the full minute of resistance and 25 might, you're gonna win those opening skirmishes, especially if the enemy team hasn't stacked those up quite as well as you have. But let's take a look at the opening split. Purple Noise actually taking a cap advantage to start this one off.
Yeah, they don't want to head in. They don't want to keep with that Ranger fight there as well, because it'd just be never ending. And maybe they learnt something from last week in terms of, you know, the Ranger being in a fight, which they had a couple of issues with in terms of going up against Vermilion last week. But, you know, I'm not sure they're really worried about that, but they're going to outnumber over on the midpoint now as well, because Cole Summers is now on this side of the map. Although we do have Red Team going back now. We have seen them coming back through to the point, through that portal, of course. Drazzy going to go back through the portal, looking for a little bit of a potential burst damage here as well. Just coming in for the extra burst, which puts Cole into a little bit of a situation here. But the thing is, he's going to be okay now. And it feels like maybe he should just stay there to get the extra damage out, especially when the Elementalist is coming back onto the point as well. It feels like maybe Drazzy could have stuck there a little bit longer, opting to go back towards midpoint as well. You can see the rest of the boons have always got so much resistance coming out for these guys, obviously with durability runes and whatnot as well. The Mesmer's doing a fantastic job on the side of TCG to buff those boons as well through their shield, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Demon Lord is going to go down on the midpoint, though, and that is going to mean that the 2-cap advantage is in favor of TCG. I was going to say that Purple Noise were doing an incredibly job because they lost a health bar earlier as well, and it felt like Purple Noise were going to immediately lose the fight, but they held on for quite a long time. But here we go. Cole Summers and Honey have both been dropped, and it doesn't look like anyone is going to be anywhere near. Kaz is just going to head over. In fact, jumps straight back. He wants the killing blows. He's looking for blood right now.
Kaz really is.
They're going to push towards the henge as well, and Purple Noise, I mean... Right, so this is the question now. Are TCG going to overextend here? Because Purple Noise can capitalize on this if they push too hard.
It's not too bad. At least they're pushing over towards their point where, you know, it's the close point of the blue team, so they've only got to worry about the cross here. So if blue team do cross over, at least, like, Lord Asura's here, and he can 1v2 for a little bit of time, obviously, and he's very tanky. But unfortunately, like you said, they've pushed all the way over to far. They've committed so many people that they've lost the midpoint. Good thing is, you know, Freylina can port right up to the top of the keep as long as he's got target through assassin starts. We see the slick shoes coming out. They're probably going to finish off Badaka quite quickly unless someone comes in quite soon as well. You can see again, even the Mesmer able to survive 1v2 very successfully. So if we did see them coming over towards the mine, he wouldn't have been able to hold that for a while. But we're seeing TCG's portals very active. You know, if they'd used the portal last week more, you really feel like those games would have been a little bit closer, and actually we might have even seen a 2-1 in favour of either team of Vermilion or TCG.
I mean, the games weren't like so one-sided that you couldn't believe a different result kind of thing. Yeah. They were fairly close in skill level, but Badaka has gone down, and Honey as well is into downstate, and I feel like I've said this a few times this game, Purple Noise just don't seem to be doing so well in these fights. Cole Summers only just got up, and he's already about to go down again. Honey, once again in downstate. Carver as well is going to drop, and this is looking awful for Purple Noise. A 3-man wipe might just be coming out. I don't think anyone's going to get the res onto Carver, just Demon Lord remaining.
Yeah. They're just hightailing it. They want to wipe them out as soon as possible. Boys. They just want to destroy them at the moment. And that's pretty much what they're able to do. Outnumber again, moving over towards the point. But as they respawn here, look, you said look, the Ranger goes over to far. He's going to be able to decat Drazzy potentially here as well. Although Drazzy's got enough potential for him to stay on point. Obviously, he's got stability through his elixirs. He can thunderclap as well to get the stun out into Cole. So it's going to take him a while. But unless he gets some kind of support, that might actually happen. And we might actually be able to see Purple Noise coming back into the game. We do see, of course, this side of the map, the Freylina does go down, but obviously getting rezzed up there by Lord Telserp, a combination of other players on this point. And they're just going to keep it. They're going to keep it contested at present. And the engineer, you know, we see Carver going over towards mid. Portal comes out. Obviously, Asura absolutely fine over on that side of the map.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of reses, that's another thing that's going to be changing with the upcoming patch. We're not going to have the quickness affecting reses and executes. So completely different style of play going to be coming out after that patch. We're not just going to be able to see, oh, we've got a Mesmer on our team. We're going to be able to get these instant reses out. We're going to actually have to see a little bit more use of maybe CC to knock people away while you try and get the rest. That kind of play coming in. But Freylina has gone down, and Helseth is starting to take a chunk of damage. Yeah, so maybe this is Purple Noise' opportunity to get back in, but the respawn has come back on through, and it looks like Freylina should be able to head over towards the Henge. He's going to meet Demon Lord there, though. Potentially a Rev-on-Rev 1v1.
Yeah, indeed. Looking at this now as well. We see portals over here on this side of the map, so just waiting for everyone else to come back through. Helseth comes back through indeed, and we see Badaka on this side of the point as well. Let's just have a little dip into Demon Lord as they try to just push them away. Demon Lord goes back through over towards mid in a 1v1 versus Lord Asura here as well. So the rest of the team do start to push over towards the mine, as the point, of course, like I said, is going to be in a contested situation. Unfortunately, we saw Cole Summers going down off point as well, gets picked up by Kazes and obviously Lord Helseth there as well. So in an outnumbered situation, Carver will go down here as well. And unfortunately, you know, blue team just being left out in different situations, outnumbering potentially in situations where they could just leave people in a 1v1, but maybe the confidence isn't there in that point. And obviously, you know, TCG just moving around the map effectively, you know. There isn't a massive amount of rotation play coming out from this. It does feel like they're outnumbering in different points as well.
Yeah, and I don't feel like this is a game where a lot of sort of rotational play has been that necessary.
No.
It's been kind of, okay, this is the point of contention. Okay, now this is the point of contention. It's not really been like, okay, let's rotate here so we can outplay them. And again, Purple Noise just simply losing skirmishes feels like the main cause of this game so far. Purple Noise, again, they had a really good job in the first few minutes. They were only, I think, 40 points down when it came to about the 12-minute mark, and they were one cap apiece. It really could have gone either way if they'd managed to start to win those skirmishes. But again, TCG just seemed to be such mechanically good players. They just seem so solid when it comes to that. Cosum's going to go down once more. And TCG, yet again with the man advantage, should be able to potentially force this one out at the Henge.
Yeah, confidence, just pure confidence from the guys here. Just winning the fights, getting a lot of kills as well. You wouldn't think that it's such a bunky, tanky support meta. The amount of kills that TCG are pulling out. If it wasn't so supported in terms of the rezzing, I just wonder how many kills they would be getting against Purple Noise in the more power-orientated meta. Anyway, we'll have to wait until Season 2 possibly for that one. Demon Lord going to drop quite low here, but he's going to be okay for now. Looking to get some nice focus onto Dreze as well as he gets raised up back to full HP. So very static here at the moment between the two teams. Cousins does start to drop down quite low elsewhere, but it should be okay in the meantime, as we do see him fighting over on this point. This is a bit darker at the moment, of course. We have seen the downside coming out onto Drazir, though. Should be able to get the res quite comfortably. Don't really need to hype that up too much, because I think we know what's going to happen.
No, he is going to be able to get back onto his feet, and we've got a bit of a...
Honey.
Oh, Honey actually is going to be in trouble. And look at the health bars. This is the cleave coming in from TCG. They might just be able to start to wipe this squad and get the Henge for themselves. Honey did get executed. Cole and Carver both feeling the pressure here, but are they going to go down? Cole finally into downstate. Is anyone going to be there to get the res? That's the question.
Nope.
No, they're not. The executor is there. That's going to be 2 down. Demon Lord dropped into downstate as well, and Carver did manage to escape, and he's heading over towards that keep, but look at that. Immediately, we see, I believe that's Freylina, yeah, going to be chasing on up, and that's going to be, doesn't even get the decap, in fact, going to be able to arrive on the scene just in time.
Yeah, stability, there we go. I mean, you know, Thunderclap as well. It would have been a nice stun-off point, but obviously, you know, we've got the stability coming out. We've got the Mesmer moving towards mid, able to easily defend versus Carver there. So he's just going to be running for his life. And obviously, no, like I was saying before, that's really where a lot of the engineer's skill is in terms of survivability. Obviously, Slick Shoes, there's great CC, great control, of course, coming out from that. But they're still not giving up. They're not stopping. They're trying to work out, trying to play as a team still. And really, this is where I've got a lot of respect for Purple Noise, you know, not just giving up. And like, we're up against a really top-tier team. We still need to learn, we still need to practice together and get that team synergy like TCG have, for example. It's going to be really important for us to get better as a team to solidify ourselves.
Yeah, and the key thing here as well for Purple Noise is they want to play in Season 2 of the Pro League. They have to get this practice in. They have to make sure that they are at their best by the time the promotional tournament comes out. But we are going to see Honey, again, going to be the target of the damage right here coming out from TCG. She's into that downstate. Carver going to be trying to get the res, but I don't know if he's even going to be able to get near. He's just going to try and bail now. Cole Summers as well, just on the edge of this node. They're trying to get near to contest this henge. Cole is going to go back in just to deny the cap for a little bit longer, but I don't know how long they can really hold on to this.
No, it's not looking great, obviously. I mean, we're going to have the respawn of Honey coming out again. Demon Lord going very low over towards this mine node as well as he tries to survive, and now he does get obviously stunned by that shield. Number 5 coming out from the Mesmer, of course, and TCG does a good job of just, line of sight for a moment, regenerating himself just a tad, but gets bounced back onto there as well. And we don't see, we've got Badaka over here, but it feels like he might be rezzing up Demon Lord in a moment, although before that happens, we are likely to see TCG pick up the game very shortly, of course. 484 ticks over with 1 cap in their favour. They're going to end it stylishly on the boss kill, with no one even in range. Honey trying to go towards mid. That's going to be all she wrote in TCG versus Purple Noise. They pick up 2 games.
They do indeed. So TCG, once again, with a very convincing performance. Pretty much exactly what we expected coming into this series. Yep. Purple Noise, unfortunately, not able to get themselves a map on the board just yet. But again, I want to reiterate something I said earlier in the series. Purple Noise definitely have improved a lot from the Purple Noise we saw coming straight into the Pro League. When we spoke to Honey, I think it was in the second week of the Pro League, might have even been the first. We interviewed Honey, and she was saying, like, we are a team that has been created for the Pro League. Like, they hadn't got a whole lot of practice under the belt. Like, they've come a long way from that team that we saw in week 1. And I mean, the team we saw in week 1 probably would have been just like 500-0 by TCG.
Yeah, I mean, they have learned a lot more actually from this as well. So, like you say, exactly, gaining the experience they need, and actually just building themselves up. And hopefully, we'll see them next week. Maybe we'll see if we can see a game coming out from those guys to pick up 1 game during the season. Of course, TCG should be pretty happy about that. They probably weren't surprised that they were able to take that win, of course. And yeah, looking good.
Yeah, so, I mean, TCG, as you say, looking good. They are going to be relying on the misfortune of others to be able to get into... the
misfortune of others. If you're a TCG fan, maybe you should be, doing some kind of...
voodoo rituals, rain dances, and all that kind of good stuff.
Oh, many people can do that. It is winter. If you're English, you can permanently do that.
You don't need to do rain dances if you're in England.
You can just go anywhere.
It's pretty much guaranteed at this point. But, I mean, let's take a look at the next matchup that we're going to have tonight. It is Orange Logo up against Car Crash. Now, these are 2 of the teams that are going to be vying for this 3rd place position. And the 4th place position, sorry. TCG have pretty much secured themselves 3rd with that win, I feel. But it's going to be this 4th, 5th, and 6th squad. Right. Orange Logo versus Car Crash and more guns as well. These are the guys that have to try and play for this 4th place, and that is a $2,000 leap between those positions. So this is definitely going to be a game to watch, which we are going to go into a short break, though. So that's going to be on your screens in just a few minutes. Make sure you... tweet about the games as well. Tweet out the stream. Make sure all of your mates are watching, and we'll be back in just a few. Hello everybody and welcome back to the ESL Guild Wars 2 Pro League. We're here in week 6 and we're heading into our second game of the day. If you've only just joined us, my name is Munchables, as you can see below me, and this is Jebro, and we're going to be heading straight on into this one because this is a game to be watched right now. This is one of the highlight games, I think, for tonight, because these teams are both vying for 4th place in the standings, and that is a $2,000 prize difference between 4th and 5th place.
Yeah, exactly. It is a very, very vital, important game for these team members. And hello, Sailor. We got Tage in the house.
Do indeed. And
there we go.
I believe he's going to be replacing Super, if I'm correct.
Oh, no,
he's on the wrong team.
Wrong team. Super is on the blue team, indeed, like you say. He's in Car Crash, so he's been replaced today. We've got Blackjack who's coming in. So Blackjack and Posey on Car Crashed. Haven't played. It's Farrell over on orange logo there, who has been replaced. So coming in for a game or so here. Not sure, obviously. Have to look into the story. Maybe Tage is back for the most part as well. We'll have to wait and see, but that's obviously going to give them maybe a boost that they need. Obviously, last week they've done a little bit better in recent matchups as well. But like you said, Super not playing today, so Blackjack and Posey going to be playing at the same time in the Car Crash team here as well. So we can have a quick look over these builds, of course. You know, Syndra playing Mesmer last week as well. Bunker support Mesmer coming out of all the res utilities, all the things there as well, of course. Syndra going to be playing an identical build. Let's just double check Portal. And then we've got, of course, Tage playing on that Condi Revenant as well. See if anything majorly different here as well. He's going to go for Enhanced Bulwark, so we know we've got the choice between Crystalline Hibernation there or the Enhanced Bulwarks to grab that stability. Rom going to be playing on that Ranger, of course, as well. Let's just double check his build. He's going to be going for Nature Magic, Beast Mastery and Druid there. Of course, going for durability with Celestial. Bye. And also bye. Not Sigil of Energy not going, but being reworked. So make sure you go to the forums and check out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to explain everything, but these are being removed, and also Energy Sigil being reworked. Loads of different changes coming in, more of the tanky amulets being removed as well, and some new stat combos coming in as well in the balance for this first quarter, which Arena there did promise, and they have, and they will deliver as well, so I'm very excited for that. Dinchi, obviously, he's going to be going for power, so we've got power, Condi Rev, we've got mixture of condition and power damage now on all the teams, whereas before we did have mostly that condition damage, of course. And then we got Car Crashed.
I'm liking the kind of that we're seeing more power rev coming back into play, because
you really like
I mean, I almost swore that's how much I love power rev. I just love the Berserker amulet in general. I just love anything that gives you a lot of just power, you know, just damage, just straight up damage. But
yep,
we are going to be seeing that one coming back into the meta, and earlier in the meta, is that even a way of saying things? A couple of weeks ago, we were seeing pretty much only Condi Revs. Now, obviously, Condi Rev was tweaked a little bit. We're starting to see Power Rev kind of seep back in.
Yeah, assisting with that power damage there as well. Actually, I was going to say, thinking about the Elementalist, but we haven't got one on the opposite team. But anyway, we can go over towards those guys. Can Scout going to be running, of course. He's running double glyph, as well as Signet of Renewal, obviously, for a little bit more Condi remove. And then he's going to be going Beast Mastery, Wilderness Survival, and Druid. Let's just double check what Rom's running as well. He's gone for Beast Mastery there. And we are going to go back over towards Nagnag. He's going to be running with Condi Rev as well, of course, going Durability. Vipers staying here as far as we know at present. Blackjack going for that tanky support. Bunker Mesmer, everyone's playing Soldier's Amulet as well at the moment. Of course, like I said before, going for that extra power damage, of course. And then we're going to go for Posey. Now, Posey's build last week was pretty effective, right? Going for all the things that are new for the Necro, of course, playing that Reaper Elite specialization line. He's going for the Shouts. He's going for the Shout Heal. He's going for Suffer. He's also going for Nothing Can Save You, as well as Rise. And this Chill to the Bone Elite ability as well, which in my mind, at the moment, I've got my hands like on my head going, I remember this so well over on the mine, how effective that was when he came into the point, steamrolled into the point, used that ability, and they ended the fights quite quickly when he was in those situations. He's been a lot more powerful and present in recent weeks.
The only shout that we've we haven't really been seeing Posey using is the Fusro Dart. I would love if we see that kind of shout coming into play. Obviously, you're going to be able to knock them off of the nodes. But anyway...
my head is in my hands.
Anyway, let's...
Good job there. Good job there, Joey.
Let's try and get this game
I was going to try and roll with it, but then I just couldn't because I couldn't stop laughing. Panic Sam going to be playing bunker support Mesmer as well. I feel like I need to give this more of a creative name, but it's not going to be here potentially for that much longer. He's going to be going for Time Warp as well as Portal there. Let's just double check with Blackjack. He's going to be going for Time Warp. What are the other guys going to be using? Gravity Well Elites coming out from Syndroneer and Frostball. So they're going to have 4 in total, as long as they can get, of course, continuing split off, and it's not, of course, on cooldown at that present moment in time. So obviously, Condi removal is going to be important for these guys. Nullfield, of course, for Syndroneer and also Frostball. We are ready to go into the map, of course, as well. Just waiting for these guys to ready up, so I thought I'd just mention that very quickly. But of course, Posey is all about the carrion, and this is where it's very interesting, because remember, I mean, forgetting about things like shouts and traps and different things which affect runes. Rune of the Soldier, if he does have any problems with Condis, especially if he comes up against Tage, he's going to be able to remove those a lot easier. I mean, that is really, really good. Shouts remove a condition from each affected ally. So he's actually been quite supportive as well as helping himself in terms of Condis remove.
It's pretty good when almost all of your abilities are shouts.
There you go. He's got like 4 or 5 Condi removes right there.
That's kind of, to some extent, fulfilling the role that we saw Elementalist fulfilling sort of a few weeks ago. We saw Elementalist on almost every team to try and clear those Condis, and now he's kind of fulfilling that with a Necro. Necro obviously can put out quite a lot of AoE damage and AoE sort of Condis, so we'll see how that one's going to pay out for them. But already these guys splitting across the map. No one going to be able to get a free cap, or as I say that, we are going to see the altar capped, in fact, in favor of Car Crash. So they're going to be able to get the first few points on the board, and that is going to be a fantastic start for them. Orange Logo going to be maybe a little bit panicked by that start. Obviously, these guys, let's remind ourselves, are playing for 4th place. This is a huge game for these guys.
Look at Can Scout. Got so much damage onto him then as well, as the boons start to come up as well. And we've actually got resistance up, but, you know, pardon me, as we're going towards Dinch, he's actually just going to bail a little tiny bit here, and we see Calstorm coming out as well to make sure that he's not going to be able to completely regenerate himself there as he disengages over on the midpoint as well. You know, Blackjack here on this point versus Tage is going to last for a considerable amount of time, but skirmishing happening in the middle of the map now. People do decide to just run past each other. There's no point in that happening.
They're just like, oh, why are we here?
Hello, Mesmer. Hello, Mesmer. Let's pass each other. Maybe they just gave each other a low five as they nipped through.
They've got a secret handshake that we just didn't know about.
Yeah, we didn't know about it, so we couldn't call it, exactly. So over on this point now, we have got a lot of damage potentially coming out, actually. Can Scout being the main focus of this damage as he goes into Celestial Avatar there. Time Walk comes out as well. Posey comes over. He's doing okay. Like, this is the thing. Posey's able to sustain himself. He's got a lot of leeching as well, so he's able to really sustain himself in those team fights a lot more than before. I actually really like this build from Posey. No one's really playing this on EU. Well, no one's playing Necro at all either, as he is being quite tanky on the point.
And this is why I love that.
Just see, he's about to go down, potentially gets the fear out. Nice job, able to get into the Reaper Shroud as well and disengage with that second ability and able to grab himself some stability as well. Maybe he's going to get the fear off into Rom. Yeah.
Dinch has gone down on the other side of the map, I believe it was. In fact, yeah, it was the temple? I'm not even sure where it was, but Dinch went down. That's the key thing here, guys.
It's the key thing to remember. He comes back in out onto the map, though, and he's going to go up towards the midpoint. Double Rev versus Blackjack here. He's going to have a lot of pain to deal with, but Tage does disengage here as well. He's getting a little bit low himself, but you can see that power, really, from the Mesmer, the power stat on that Soldier's Amulet, which is really, really strong. Soldiers won't be around anymore in the balance patch. Again, you know, another thing which is going to defeat Mesmer in that kind of build. Whether or not you're sad about that is also another thing. I'm not. And we are going to go back out from the altar, of course. Posey is going to be able to heal up slightly here, but obviously in a lot of trouble. But you can see normally the Necro would be dead by now, but able to remove some of his conditions, getting back into Reaper Shroud. Yeah, as well. Gives him a lot of survivability.
Rom as well was like really, really close to going down, but able to keep himself alive. They're both
Orange
on
Logo
this point.
Have no points, Joe.
I know. I was about to bring this up. Like, Car Crash are the only ones to have got a kill just yet. Rom is back into downstate, and he actually gets executed. Taja as well is not not feeling too great. Car Crash with 100 points on the board. They've yet to lose a single point. This is the battle for 4th place, and they are so far playing flawlessly. Tage are now in downstate. If they can get this execute, they're going to be in fantastic stead to turn this early lead into a victory.
They can't get this matchup correct for them at the moment. They can't get Posey down at all as well. Like, Posey's just a beast at the moment, surviving all engagements, able to remove conditions, moving into fights where, you know, we had Tage moving into that fight on Alta as well, you know, and Tage is running the Condi, so he wasn't being massively influential in that fight versus Posey there, and pushing back out. Slow game at the moment. We have got Stillness coming up, of course. Rom is fighting versus Nag over on this side of the map as well, just to keep it sustained. So we see CanScout pushing back in as well to see if they could potentially look at that. Nice Waterfield blast comes out from CanScout. Great support. And, you know, can Car Crash have so much mindfulness for each other at the moment? It doesn't feel like Orange Logo have that same sense at the moment in terms of their team support. They're able to get potentially something out over on this Temple node, though.
We'll have to see. And I really feel like right now, Orange Logo need to send someone to get the decap on the altar, because they're starting to slowly but surely fall very far behind. And yeah, I was about to say, Stillness is in the hands of Car Crash, so it's essentially a 2-cap that they have up right now. And I mean, when you were talking to Helseth, I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but Helseth was saying that Orange Logo was one of the teams that they like to scrim. He still sees them as one of the top 4 teams, but right now they are not showing it. And Dinch, in fact, is going to go down. Syndroneer as well is incredibly low, and it looks like the Temple might just be going the way of Car Crash. Car Crash looking to really solidify this lead. Close to 200 points as they get the kill onto Dinch. Syndroneer just trying desperately to survive this one, but it's not looking all too great for him, if I'm honest, and just desperately trying to kite away. He's going to go into downstate any second. Actually does get a heal off in the last second there.
Surviving by the skin of his teeth here. You can see a time warp coming out to make sure maybe they can pick him out. He does get back out there as well, but going to drop Chaos Storm, probably quite Storm on low. He does have armor left back up as well. Should give him some nice protection boons. And while Syndroneer tries to survive, this is classic kind of Orange Logo almost. They kite around forever, and then other members can trail down from behind. But Tage couldn't really do much there, unfortunately. And actually Blackjack goes down on the other side of the map. Obviously time warp coming out there as well. And now Car Crash will have a few issues unless they can potentially get the kill on Syndroneer, which is not going to happen at present. Dinshi being trailed from behind by Posey, of course, not going to have many issues there, as obviously Posey is not got the mobility needed right there as well. Obviously not going for Flesh Worm, not going for Spectral Walk either, you know, not able to get that extra speed out. CanScout down as well.
Desperately trying to keep up. That's going to be Nag and CanScout both going down, and the Temple, the altar, sorry, has been decapped. Orange Logo have got a cap on the board, so they are finally starting to rack up some points, but right now they have a whole long way to go. Posey in a bit of a tricky situation there.
There's the pure power, you know, the pure power damage that Dinshi is bringing out. You know, with that Zerker, you know, if it was Tage, you wouldn't be able to take him out that far. And they've moved that matchup, you know. Now they've been killing people on the map, so obviously they've been forced into that situation. Tranquility comes out as well. Syndroneer picks up Stillness, which means they get double cap on the map. And no one is below because they've both put hello. There's a party downstairs with portals. So who's going to use that first? Obviously, they're going to be able to see that they've disappeared. So they need to keep an eye on each other now as well. Panic Sam does go down over towards this Temple node with potential of Posey coming in for the backup. No, he goes towards bottom.
This is really, really good for Orange Logo. They get the kill onto Panic Sam there, and that is going to mean if they can get the 2-cap with currently having Stillness, they're going to really start to rack up some points and actually start to get themselves back onto the scoreboard. To be quite honest, it's not very often that we see comebacks in the Pro League, because obviously these teams are very proficient at just holding on to those leads, but Orange Logo have been winning these skirmishes and they're starting to find their way back into this game. Currently, with the Stillness, they have the 2-cap Posey just going to go for a journey right now.
He was trying for a real kind of, that was a nice attempt at trying to go for the decap there. Lost a lot of HP by falling though. Actually, Nag going down quite low on the other side of the map. Feels like Orange Logo now have been able to rotate around the map a little bit easier and get these matchups more in their favor now as well. And Posey feels like he's under a lot more pressure than he was before going now in the 1v1 versus Syndroneer, of course, over on this side of the map. We are going to see currently CanScout having quite a few issues himself, trying to get the heals out with the Celestial as well. And Panic Sam going to come out. Obviously, we're going to see the feedback, but not enough. He wasn't there in time, unfortunately. Obviously, the res is powerful, but if you're not in range to get it, and of course you're able to get the down in the end as well. So obviously, having the Revenant there does also help. But now we see Tranquility capped as well, as Blackjack not able to get there in time, unfortunately. Frostball able to nip down and grab that buff, and he's going to move straight in, Syndrome straight away over towards this temple. Bunker up in the 2v1.
That is absolutely massive for Orange Logo right now. They now have a 2-cap. Temple is currently neutral right now. And we do see, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Tasia that's over there making sure it's not happening. Actually, it's a Mesmer, so it's probably Syndrome. I don't even know. Doesn't matter right now. The point is Orange Logo have the cap advantage. They're slowly but surely ticking these points up. They're only just over 100 points behind their opponents right now. But Nagnag has gone down. They get the execute onto Nagnag. They've got the mana advantage on the map, and they're looking to turn this into a lead if they can just maintain this performance. They're starting to outplay Car Crashed.
Yeah, I mean, they had such a big lead. They need to make sure they can maintain this and the map doesn't get sustained, because obviously we've got 1 cap in favor. We've actually got Stillness coming up in about 10 seconds or so at 5:30. So obviously, you know, they need to make sure they have the mid cap still in their favor. We saw a portal. Obviously, you know, Syndrome is able to move back there as well. Dinshi comes back and they push Posey away here as well as Nagnag. They're not going for that, but Posey goes for the potential for the Stillness here as well. As Frostball does get the channel off. He's got stability as well, but no one's coming over. No one's going to interrupt. Oh, I think that was a bit of a mistake there, because Orange Logo are really tempting them on the sides, and now they've got the double cap again. Yeah. This means that this is definite easy comeback now for Orange Logo. That's a big thing to happen.
Yeah, Car Crash really seem to be dropping the ball right now, because that's the 3rd buff in a row that Orange Logo have been able to secure for themselves. And quite often in these games, we don't even see the buffs get captured. They're just completely matched each time. And now, as you say, the 2-cap in favor of Orange Logo. If they can get either of these side nodes, they're going to be in a phenomenal position. The gate has just been abandoned by both teams, and that is just slowly but surely racking in those points for Orange Logo.
Massive damage coming out over towards this side of the map. Frostball's really under pressure here as well, trying to get back. He's only got Distortion left as well as a Shatter, so he's going to be okay for now. Does get the nice port up to top as well, so he's going to be okay for the meantime. Just distancing himself, getting some regen as well. But really on the rest, maybe people are starting to move out from this fight because it feels too sustained to get anything out of it. It's actually Orange Logo. It looks like Dinshi is just going to regenerate over, with a potential for going out over the side now as well. Frostball does get picked up as well by Nagnag, which is really massive for them to potentially pick up this side point here, because they need to do it. Look, 290 to 320 now. Car Crash haven't gained any points for so long.
Yeah, to be honest, Car Crash in the last few minutes have been like Orange Logo in the first few minutes. And look at the scores right now. We have 4 minutes left on the clock. They're only just 25 points ahead of their opponents. Car Crash, they're clinging on to this lead by the skin of their teeth right now. Orange Logo are definitely in the runnings. If they can keep playing how they have been, currently they still have the gate. They've got 1 cap apiece, and look how many people are heading towards the temple. This is going to be a battle of the ages. Guild versus guild happening at the temple right now. Taja is going to be the focus target right now, though, and the Condis are stacking. Is he going to be able to kite this one out? Going to be able to use that crystalline hibernation to keep himself alive for a little bit. As you say, yeah, running out of cooldowns here, and he's actually going to go into that downstate. Can they get the execute, or will the res be there from the rest of Orange Logo? Looks like he might just be going down, and this is the man advantage now for Car Crash. They can hold on to this victory if they can use this.
Oh, this is nice. Rom's gone over for the decap versus Panic Sam, but he's got stability, so he's going to be okay in that 1v1 versus the Ranger. And Dinshi, this is what Dinshi's come over as well. He needs to. And actually, we can see another downstate coming out as well. Syndrome down over towards the other side of the map means they will be able to get some significant positioning on this node. They need to make sure they keep the altar now as well. Sam is trying for so hard now at the moment. Stability, everything comes out, but he needs to get on node. Canscout comes in, potentially not back maybe from the glyph. He's not going to be able to do that. Didn't get into his position fast enough.
Canscout's got the res.
But he did get the res. The extra revival speed coming out, which means they're able to come back out and make sure they get him up. 2 side nodes now, as we know. 2:30 is the Tranquility buff as the Chaos Storm comes out from Frostball, interrupting Nagnag. But now Frostball's stuck downstairs, while the rest of the party is going on upstairs. Yeah. You know where the action is.
If either of these guys manage to get this buff, that is going to be pretty much game in their favor, but I really doubt either team is going to allow that one to happen again. Frostball already managed to kind of clutch that one for his team earlier on in the game.
This is great, because at the moment, Car Crash know what they have to do. They just have to sustain sides and bottom. They're like, stillness-wise, they need to sustain that as well. Their positioning at the moment is actually really, really good because Panic Sam, he's not going to get knocked down. He's got stability. He's going to be fine. Obviously, Tage not going to be able to do that anyway. And then over on this side of the map, we've still got Kanscout. He's going to go down here very, very, very soon. And actually, Posey now, they're opting to potentially go for the decap on mid versus Dinch. He's got a lot of evade as well.
Unless they get the 3-cap, I'm not sure there's time anymore.
Decap,
they're only...
yeah, they've got to get stillness and tranquility like
down.
Now.
They're 75 points down, so they literally have to get at least the 2-cap. If they can get the stillness as well as kind of a bonus right there, that maybe will be enough for them to get in. They've got the 2-cap for themselves. If they can pull this stillness off and keep both of the nodes, then they're going to be in good stead. But take a look at this. We've got, I believe it's Kanscout going down. He's going to get the decap on the gate. That might just be what it takes to seal the deal right now for Car Crash. They're looking to take this victory. They're almost at 500 points. Posey has gone down. You're absolutely right, but the res is going to be there. Posey gets back up onto his feet, and the temple will remain in the hands of Car Crash.
Yeah, indeed. Blackjack doing a great job, obviously, doing what the Mesmer does and getting the res up. Tage going down on the map means that this is probably more than likely definitely over 40 seconds, obviously. And 480, they're not able to grab stillness there. Panic Sam did a good job actually there as well. And Dinchi coming down, trying to get the tranquility at the last second, grab the kill as well. Because if they can flip the map into their favor and get stillness with the 6-cap coming out, you know, they could get some nice pointage. Obviously, this map is over. 20 seconds left. 500 to 420. Orange Logo losing to Car Crashed. Why am I not speaking about this more right now? Why am I not surprised?
That was such a close game between these guys.
Yeah.
Battling for 4th place. And honestly, Orange Logo did a phenomenal job to almost come back into that. There was a good, 5 minutes solid of Car Crash just not getting any more points on the board and slowly but surely losing their lead.
It was literally that long.
Yeah, it was, longer. And then at the end, Car Crash did manage to finally take the edge once again and just secure that victory for themselves, only just beating the actual game timer in terms of points. I'm so excited for this second map. This is going to be, I mean, this is all to play for right now, especially for Orange Logo. They're on the back foot. They've got to turn this into a 3-game series, but Car Crash, they're going to be very happy with that victory.
I mean, this is one of the first times I've not, as far as I remember, that Super hasn't played actually, and Super has always played in the Car Crashed, or different, yeah, I mean, we can definitely see in game as we go into there now as well. You know, there's no Super there. Super is like it's a bit like Helsef, I guess, in TCG. I've always seen Super in this team in some kind of form, and he's not here today. And actually, no, it feels like he's kind of almost a driving force for their team as well. But, you know, Blackjack feels that similar kind of role. Is very tactical. I think the guys in this team are actually doing a really, really great job. Surprised again that the Necro team is actually having so much success. There's ideas that, you know, the Necro is going to be even, he's going to be quite powerful in the next meta that could come up as well. So, you know, Posey is really flying the flag for Necro players at the moment because he's actually doing a pretty good job.
Honestly, Posey's build really seems to be something to shout about in terms of changing the meta. Just quickly on the subject of substitutes, I have been told by the admins that Taja is just, this is just like a 1-week sub in, and this isn't like a permanent change to the roster or anything, but let's take a look. We are going to be heading into this next game. Everybody's just readying up an Orange Logo. It's all on the line right now for them. This could be a game that basically decides whether they get an extra $2,000 between them or not. That is a huge amount of money. $400 each. Like, just put that into perspective. That is absolutely... You can buy a banger, a really old car for $400. Like, just to put that into perspective, when I was
out of anything you could afford.
When I was like 18, having an old banger was like that was it. That was the coolest thing you could have. So but the guys here that are playing
in the UK for $400, wow, that must have been a horrible thing.
My brother had
probably
one
like a Robin Reliant or something, or like Del Boy's car from Only Fools and Horses. Anyway, very, very English thing. Most people are probably like, what? They're going to go to Google and like just Google freewheeler.
The first Robin Reliant video you're going to see is the one of Jeremy Clarkson tipping one over on that roundabout.
Oh yeah, everyone knows what that show is, that's for sure. Anyway, we're getting off subject tiny bit, but basically people can win a lot of money, this is what, at the moment, Car Crash are doing a smashing job. They've come back in recent weeks. They're doing fantastically today, taking one game against Orange Logo. Can they keep it going, Joe? we'll have to wait and see.
We will indeed, and the game is going to be getting underway. Orange Logo, they've got their work cut out, and their logo is blazing. Are they going to be able to take this one, though? I'm really interested to see the starting split for this map. This seems to be the map where teams vary their strategies the most in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's wondering as well where the Necro is going to go. So Posby is going to try and stop them by getting some fear down as well, but obviously we've got stability coming out from Frostball, the Mesmer, so they're able to push past him quite confidently and quite easily. And even in a 2v2, you normally give the 2v2 to the team with the Mesmer in it. And at the moment, you know, can be, of course, outplayed, but now we've got the Druid over here. But we saw from Vermilion last week, actually, that the Druid's still very capable to survive and offer enough supports for that 2v2 to potentially go in their own way.
Yeah, absolutely. And as well, the support that you get from this build that Posey is running, that is going to be sort of a key factor that we haven't really seen come into play because it's a relatively new build. But Nagnag starting to feel the pain a little bit here. And in fact, revs on both teams really seem to be the focus targets because Tager as well is incredibly low and might actually be going down, and he will do so. The res looks like it will be there, though. They do manage to get him back onto his feet, but now it's Nagnag on the floor. Can they finish this one off? The res immediately going to come out. No, the execute comes in the last second. That is going to be the man advantage now in favor of Orange Logo. They're looking to make their mark on this game.
Yeah, indeed. It shouldn't be too long till Sam gets downed as well, and they will take the point because unfortunately blue team they were obviously on the opposite side of the map. It's going to take him a long time for him to move, and actually Syndranir is going to move from this situation and going to the backup over on this Henge node as well, because obviously we've got Nagnag coming in now as well. They're going to be outnumbered. They need some support here. Syndranir opts to go for the team fight, whereas actually Kanscout does disengage here maybe to potentially either pick up the Mesmer or to go towards the midpoint. Although he might have just been regenerating here as well. Actually gets picked up by Syndranir. They're going to be able to do a massive amount of damage actually with Syndranir just still trying to pop one onto him there as well.
So I realised I forgot to tweet the poll before this game, so I've just tweeted that now. So if you want, let us know who you want to win this one. Make sure you find that. It's on the hashtag GW2PL. But let's get back into this game. Anyway, Orange Logo is still only 5 points ahead. Obviously, they managed to get that kill, but no points have been capped just yet. I mean, look at the health bars right now for Car Crash. They're all really starting to get shrunk down just a little bit. They're starting to maybe run out of cooldowns, and this potentially could be Orange Logo's opportunity to strike. But Tager is not doing so hot in this 1v1, and it might just be in a little bit of trouble. Might have to back away from that one, and it looks like he will do so, and that could be the mine going over to Car Crash.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, now with midpoint 5 points, 3 minutes into the game, you normally see Dinchi going down very low here, actually, as Posey grabs into that Reaper Shroud there as well. Offers up a lot of condition damage and poison there as well. So you see the Chaos Storm coming out onto the corpse. He's going very low there. He's going to be taken out. Tage as well, very low over towards this mine node. Maybe we are going to see this map go slowly into the favor of Car Crash. And again, you know, around that 5 minute marker into the game, we normally see the points start to pile up as people do start to fall apart across the map.
We do indeed, and Tager doing a fantastic job so far. Tager has been on 10% HP for like the entire duration of this match, but he's clinging on by the skin of his teeth, and as I say, that immediately goes down. The res is going to be channeled, but I don't know if it's going to be quick enough. The execute comes down, and Car Crash, they're starting to take the lead on this one. They've still yet to cap a point, though. Nagnag is the one that's going to be low on HP as Syndranir just desperately trying to escape this one. The Condis are ticking, and actually Syndranir, no, he is going to be able to survive that one. Got a bit of regen ticking on himself. And
Posey's going to go for that damage. Surely he's going to be able to take him out. He needs to use the obviously invulnerability there, obviously bringing out Blood Frenzy. Tries to get the heal down as well successfully. Chaos Storm, which means he's going to be able to interrupt some of those abilities as well. Maybe he's going to pick out the Gravity Well. Doesn't need to, as Nagnag goes down very low. And again, you can see something similar to what they did on Temple in the last map. Syndranir is so low, and they're able to use that to their advantage and actually take people down. Look, Posey dead as well. They've been able to turn this back into their favor, and it's very reminiscent of a Shoutbow Warrior played by Rom, using that same situation back in the day as well, where people would try and go for so much focus on the tanky character that they're forgetting that they're getting taken out from behind. And that's actually a really good job there from Orange Logo. Similar tactic to what they've always done as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, despite them making that play, they actually lost the mine during that time and haven't managed to get themselves a cap. So now we're seeing what happened at the very start of the first game of the series. We're seeing Car Crash. They've got one cap on the board, and right now it's not looking like Orange Logo have much of a kind of lever to push this in their favor. Panic Sam is going to dash away, but Posy's arrived as well as Nagnag, and Car Crash should be able to just at least keep this neutral, but they do have themselves at least a 25-point advantage. 10 minutes left in the game right now. We'll see if Orange Logo can say anything about this one. We've already seen that they can get the kills. If they can continue to make that happen, if they can start to win any of these fights, they're going to be able to get themselves in. Panic Sam, again, is going to be the focus, but Taja goes down. The res is going to be channeled immediately, but the execute comes while he was so close to getting back onto his feet, and now Panic Sam and Nagnag, they're going to be the returns if it's possible, but it doesn't look like Orange Logo are going to be able to finish them off.
No, they need to, well, at the moment the pressure's gone right back onto them, and they need to back out of this point now as well to get a little bit more survival. You can see Dinchy just moving out of node, but he gets pressured as well and needs to try and move back, tries to use some evade damage there as well as Posy and Nagnag take him out, obviously bringing out the quickness from that assassin stance, of course, from Nagnag means no interrupt comes out from Dinchy. But here, now, they need to try and come back into this map because they're going to lose the cap once again, losing out in that matchup. Panic Sam, let's see if he's got a portal left. He doesn't, sorry, he's not running portal, and this is actually going for Blinked. Actually would have been useful if I just double check that. There's a lot of port points on this map, actually, as well. Blackjack going to be using portals, so picking up one portal and a Blink there as we got Frostball. He is going for portal, and then we've got Syndranir who's going to be using portal as well. So, you know, Blink really, really good for escape mechanics as well to survive. CanScout does go down, of course, in the end, which is very surprising, seeing as, you know, they were very slow moving out back across the map, Car Crash. Since they were outnumbering on the map, losing the fight started over towards the Henge node is really good comeback potential for Orange Logo now.
And it looks like they might just be able to grab this Henge for themselves. It's only Nagnag remaining, and he is going to be going down. They're going to be able to get this execute, but Panic Sam arrives at the very last second. Can he get the res onto Nagnag? He's looking for it, and he does. What a play from Panic Sam. Gets the quickness and gets his teammate back on his feet. The Henge is going to stay neutral.
Panic Sam, the absolute boss there, getting an amazing res play as well as he comes into the node and just lays down all the... I mean, we saw him coming in with that well of recall as well, and obviously getting the quickness to get the nice res. Still got time warp. They keep it sustained. Obviously, CanScout goes over towards the mine, has a look over there, see if there's any potential portals coming out. We're going to see Mesmer moving over towards this side of the map as well. Nothing... Really, again, we're seeing it's all about the on-point fighting at the moment, really, in this meta. I'm looking forward to the next one where we can see potentially more fights in roads and between the caps, where we see a lot more people go down, which is a lot more based on the way that actually Orange Logo play and the focusing on the kills. And I feel like this meta hasn't been very good to them, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously with the issues with Tage is back now as well, but obviously you have that question. How long has Tage been back for and how long has he been playing? Because no matter how good you are, you can become rusty at this game within a few days.
You really, really can. And I mean, especially if the meta changes to what you're
Blackjack
used to. Blackjack is going down, though. And I mean, 2 people already died just earlier for Car Crash. They've managed to even up the points now. So Orange Logo only 40 points behind. If they can get a 2-cap onto Car Crash, they're going to be in a phenomenal position to push this into a 3rd map. There's only 6 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. So honestly, Car Crash, they might just have their work cut out to stay ahead in this game. Nagnag is in 2 down state. Are they going to be able to get the res, though? It doesn't look like it. The execute comes down. And Orange Logo, they're looking for this advantage, and they're just about forcing it. Posy going to be the next target by the looks of things. Going to go into Reaper Shroud, so that extra health bar is going to be kind to him, but CanScout might not be so lucky as he's starting to really feel the damage coming out from Rom over towards the mine. That is the cap gone down, and Orange Logo now with an advantage.
Yeah, look at the backup coming out. We're going to see Dinchy coming over towards this side of the map, tries to advance himself using those assassin utilities, of course, and trying to pick up the kill on CanScout, which will even further their comeback potential if it can bring him down. Look at that sword damage that comes out. You won't see that much in the next patch, boys and girls, but we are going to see CanScout obviously going down. But look, we've seen Tage and also Frostball down over towards the midpoint. It's not going to be enough. They need to now push over towards home because we're going to see lack of respawns coming out as well. But now we know as well that Dinchy is going to try and go for this boss kill to give them that lead back as well as bounce, you know, keep that buffer of points coming in so they keep that comeback potential up.
Yeah, absolutely. And now
comeback potential. What am I talking about?
They're winning. They've managed to take the lead thanks to that boss kill. And in fact, just about those points exactly has given them this lead. We now see the respawn of Frostball. So it's going to be 5 versus 5 on the map once more. Frostball deciding which side he wants to go to right now. Looks like he's going to head towards the Henge, but so far just complete neutral fights on these points, which is perfect news for Orange Logo. They're looking to push this one on forwards. Just 5 minutes left on the clock now. Syndra seems to be the target that these guys are going for, but the Mesmer, I mean, we saw it earlier in the game. The Mesmer is not the guy that you want to be trying to kill.
No, I mean, he's tanking it very, very well. And the thing is, the Mesmer and the Ranger combination, they've got so much stability. They're never going to get decapped here. Nagnag is under pressure. They can't do anything on this point. It actually feels like Nagnag should just get out for a bit because he needs to regenerate here. But they're in a real desperation mode. And no one's going towards mid. The Ranger's actually gone towards mid now, Canscout as well. They're going to send the Mesmer into the team fight. But it's going to be a bit too late. They have to get in there very quickly because we're going to see him go into full down state here as well, unless he's very careful. Blackjack actually drops very low, and if he goes down here as well, we're going to see this map snowball even more into Orange Logo's favor in terms of getting the kills in the team fights, and Blackjack judged that well. He knew he was going to potentially go down there. We've lost Nagnag, of course, but he has stayed alive to keep this team fight alive as well, because Nagnag's going to be back very soon. He does go down himself. Panic Sam's trying to come in for the rest, but he gets taken out in the end, and now they need to move back into the middle of the map and almost sit down, have a sandwich and a cup of tea, Joe, and maybe rethink what they're going to do, because Orange Logo do have the side caps at present, and they will be able to carry this game, and they will actually lose the boss kill as well, another 25 points as well as stats.
I love the damage that Dinch does with that Zerker amulet. When he finally finds those people that are trying to escape a point on barely any HP, just charges in and just annihilates the health bars immediately. It's a beautiful thing to watch with that unrelenting assault, but it's going to be Posey right now. Speaking of health bars, that's going to be struggling a little bit. Does have that Reaper Shroud to keep him alive a little bit longer, but he's being chased down by Rom, who's searching for that kill. They're going to be heading over towards the mine to join this team fight, but it doesn't look like Posey's actually going to make it there. At this rate, the Condis are stacking. There's the Reaper Shroud to keep him alive. Gets over towards the rest of his team, so Nagnag and Panic Sam going to be there to help him survive this one, but Canscout is the one that's going to be going down across the map over towards the keep. The res isn't going to be able to come through, and that is again Orange Logo taking an advantage in the fight.
They're pushing it. They're really pushing it now. They're not giving them any chance for them to come back at all. If you can push back onto the nodes, like Frostball does go down here because they're committed hard over towards the midpoint. Maybe they need to try and send someone over here as soon as possible. I think that's going to happen. Rom drops low as well as Frostball obviously taken out there. Rom does go down in the end, but Blackjack down mid means they will be able to pick up probably the double cap here as well. We do see the boss comes back up just as Rom gets finished off there. Feels like a sign. Are we going back for revenge? It feels like maybe they will to end this game sooner. Won't be any time soon though, as we've seen obviously Syndra moving, staying over towards the Henge now. Frostball moving into that position. Doesn't feel like it's needed necessarily, although we are going to see obviously Respawn coming out from Blackjack, so if they need to, they will need to back that fight up.
Yeah, Posey is going to go down, and again we keep on seeing these sort of, if not kills, then downstates in between the caps. Posey just desperately trying to dive around, trying to just dodge away from people, but he's incredibly low. I believe he's pretty much out of cooldowns as well because he's been spamming out those abilities on his route there, but going to go into that Reaper Shroud to try and survive just a little bit longer, just to try and keep this decapped, but it's not going to happen. They already have it in favor of Orange Logo. They need to somehow get a man advantage, but Orange Logo are just doing perfect stuff. They just, wherever Car Crash go, they match them, they meet them, and they can slowly but surely win these duels.
I mean, also, another thing I wanted to talk to just remind ourselves about, which we didn't really say much about as well, is that Temple is and never will be Orange Logo's map. It will never be their map, and this map, Forest, has always been the best map for them to come back on if they've got the chance to. Obviously, we've got, you know, the two Revs who are able to be very mobile on this map as well. The Assassin starts getting into points very quickly. We're seeing Orange Logo members going down now. They do win the map. They get the kill on the boss on the other side, and we are going to see a game number 3 in a day where I didn't think we would see a game number 3.
Well, I mean, we mentioned how important this series is for these guys. I mean, this is playing for 4th place. These guys are tied. They already know that they can't really catch up to TCG at this point. So this is what they are playing for, and they are playing their hearts out. We are going to see a game 3. It is going to be on Faux Fire. I don't even want a break right now. I just want to get into the 3rd game. These games have been pretty damn close between this. The first one especially was incredibly close. Second game, Car Crashed had a really, really strong start. I think they were like 100 points ahead at one point. But
yeah, I mean,
Orange Logo just...
it was about, I think, 4 or 5 minutes into the game, again, you know, when that moment comes, you can sense it in this meta at the moment, with the way things are, that, you know, as soon as you get a kill, the map slowly starts, you get the cap points. Obviously, you know, decaps are quite difficult to get. They've got a ranger on each team as well, of course, so, you know, they're able to get it to a degree, but it's still got stability because we've got 2 Mesmers, and then we've got Revenants as well rocking out with the stability and whatnot as well. So it was a very slow starting game, but, you know, obviously, as soon as you get that first kill and that first decap, if there is 2 caps on the sides, you know, it starts to evolve, and you saw there was a lot more rotational play from both teams, but nothing that Car Crash couldn't do anything. You saw him, you know, when talking about going back to mid, having a cup of tea and a sandwich. It felt like, you know, they were going back home to a cucumber sandwich, which is never, you know, massively
It's always
awesome.
just a little bit underwhelming, isn't it?
It's very underwhelming, especially if you don't like cucumber.
Yeah,
but, you know, that's a very English thing, by the way. Joe knows what I'm talking about.
I know exactly
again, something else to Google. But yeah.
Stick a bit of ham in there and you're good. But anyway, let's head on to the third map in this series. It is 1 apiece right now between Orange Logo and Car Crash. This is the 3rd game this season to go 1-all. So, I mean, this is... And, I mean, what a series for it to be. The one that's going to decide, essentially, or obviously there is Morgans and Roses as well. We'll see how they play later on today. But
they got ranked
between
55.
2 of the 4th place teams, a 3-game series. I just want to get into game 3. I just want to see this match.
Tell them to get ready and let's do it then. It's easy. I can answer that question.
I'm just typing go, 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 go. As many goes as I can type.
I mean, look at this as an example right here as well, you know, which I spoke about before, and I was talking about engineer. There is not one engineer in these team comps, and if this meta kept going, I actually really feel like engineer slowly would have just dissipated, because it can still survive. It's still got a lot of potential with Slick's use and to initiate control damage, control effects, and to get people out. Obviously, you know, blue team with Posey on this side is not going to play anything else other than Necro. Why would you? Because he's very good at it. And now we're going to see these teams coming back into the map. And here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Indeed, we are going to see this splits going across. Interestingly, Car Crash going for a 2-1-2 split. I'm not sure sending one person to the mid is really going to be all that beneficial for you, but actually, turns out that we're going to see a 2 versus 2 in the mid. Both teams trying to read each other, trying to match where their opponents are going, and we're just going to see everybody matching 1 apiece at Waterfall, 2 in mid, and 2 over towards the quarry. So the fight's already starting to kick off, and neither team really getting a huge significant advantage to kick this one away. And now, actually, we're seeing a little bit of a fight in between. The port is going to come out from Tager towards the middle of the map. Can Scout here on his own for a little while, but his teammates are not far away. We've got a Necro and a Rev going to be joining this fight to help him out. And Posey using that Reaper Shroud just to try and burst out Tager, but not quite going to be able to find the kill just yet. Although I say that, actually, he's getting incredibly low. Might go into downstate here. Going to have that Crystal Hibernation, though.
Yeah, exactly. 25%. Oh, goes down very low there as well. And he's going to be finished off potentially here. Rez, obviously, from the Mesmer brings him back up. Feels like Tage needs to get off node again, like I said before. Just regenerate himself. Although Denshi is here as well, so they can push this into the momentum and actually get some hard damage down onto potential targets there. We all can see Panic Sam does go down, but Tage again going down. They're feeling the weakness in Tage at the moment, and maybe a potential lack of practice. Denshi dropping very low as well. Needs to get out of here. Actually, nice Crystalline Hibernation. That was an activate rather than the 25% proc through the traits, of course. Although I didn't to make sure, because he might not be running it in the first place. Actually, he's going to go for Elder's Force there, so increased damage per boon. So he's going full ham, Dench there as well. So he needs to make sure, really brought out that Crystalline Hibernation at the right time. Yeah. Unfortunately, going down there as well, as he hasn't got as much survival potentially as he normally would.
Yeah, Syndronair as well is going to be going down here. The dots are stacking up, and there's nobody going to be able to save him right now. Oof. So it looks like he is going to slowly but surely fall, and Car Crash really putting their mark on this map so far. They are starting to take a lead right now. They've managed to get that midpoint. And, I mean, I say that this is what we saw in both of the other games, but Orange Logo managed to come back on that second map. Are they going to be able to repeat that performance here, though? Doesn't look like it right now as Tager goes down once more and immediately gets executed. Tager really being the focus of the bullying right now from Car Crash.
Well, I mean, like I said before, you know, I'm not saying anything about Tage as a player, because he is definitely, he's not only one of was one of the best when he was at his high peak and obviously playing the game consistently. Again, I'm not massively sure about that, so what I might be saying might not be technically true. But, and he's also personally one of my favorite players, but, he's feeling quite weak in the team at the moment, and that is, you've got to pick your weak points and you've got to take him out because, that's where you're going to get the advantage. Orange Logo, obviously, earlier the game, still potential to come back. Never going to not say that about this team, especially while they're taking out Blackjack, of course, on the other side of the map.
And this is one of the beautiful things about doing a best-of-3 format like this, is you have 3 games to work out your opponent's weakness and exploit it and take the victory because of that. CanScout might just be the weakness that they've found right now. Car Crash looking to maybe lose this fight as CanScout is going to get executed. Nagnag now going to be the next target. And look at that rev drop. He's into downstate, and it looks like he's going to go down as well. Orange Logo, they're not looking to let this game run away from them just yet. They're looking for this midpoint, and they're winning the fight.
It's good of women's speed. This is probably one of the most exciting series as well that we could have seen. Like you said before, and there's not been many like 2-1 series in this Pro League yet, and this is actually really great. And this is a credit to not only to Orange Logo for the potential comeback here, but to Car Crash, how their play has just increased over the last couple of months in this Pro League. They've just got better and better, and they could steal it from Orange Logo still, because they do still have the 2-cap here, as they try to get a bit of a distraction tactic going down over on the waterfall, and also CanScout trying to get the D-cap there as well. Feels like although he did do that, they've lost Blackjack over on the midpoint. Nagnag needs the help as well, but CanScout gets on node, and then, you know what Orange Logo are thinking? They're just thinking, oh god guys, just die. We want to get this D-cap as fast as possible, and no one's really going for the quarry here as well, because Panic Sam going back over towards that side of the node, looking after the point as well.
Yeah, and I mean, Orange Logo, they've been doing such a good job of getting these kills. Blackjack just respawning, but Nagnag immediately falls, as you say. So this fight has been 5 versus 4 for such a long time, but Orange Logo just not able to get this D-cap. They've got to find a way in here. They've got to find a way to start to get this comeback. Right, yeah, they are, actually.
It's not quick enough, though.
Right now, they're 100 points behind, and it's not going to cut it unless they can somehow find a way back in. They need to repeat the performance that they had in Game 2. They can't allow Game 1 to repeat itself right now, and they can't allow Car Crash to just run away with this one.
So Dinchi obviously knew that was CanScout was going around the map, obviously, picked him up. Syndrome deports the portal, which means the Druid goes away. Sorry, I almost said something else. Nagnag comes over towards this side of the map as well to keep, potentially, 2 members actually at bay here. That's actually good thinking there from him. CanScout obviously going through over towards mid, still on this point, supporting very well with Posey and also Blackjack. Doesn't feel like this is going to go anywhere anytime soon, and they really need to push for this quarry fight. And actually, we're going to see Sam in a 1v1 versus Dinchi here. He does lose a lot of cap points actually on the map there, on the node. And maybe even Ron popping over for a quick decap might be a beneficial idea or plan, although the Mesmer does have